Well, we're finishing up finals, and I think today's pretty much our last day to get everybody kind of through that. So it's been kind of a little bit of a skeleton week. We didn't do much Monday. Um, we didn't do anything Sunday or Monday, and then Tuesday got back after it. Um, it's really hard. Focus is at a minimum. Seems like these weeks every year because you got kids really trying to do well in class, which we want them to, and so it's been a bit of a challenge. But hopefully we get everybody wound up today and get back focused today and tomorrow in preparation for a really good Southern Miss team, 7-1. Um, they had, to me, they had a lot of success against us last year here at home, and got a couple of those kids back that really hurt us last year. So they're shooting the ball well from three. We got several kids that are making some awfully impressive numbers from out there, and got some really good quickness. So hopefully we'll have a great crowd down there. Some of our coast Bulldogs will be down there and support us like they have in the past. And I'm excited about tomorrow night, watching this one graduate. It's going to be a real special night for me and for her and her family. 3.5 years, y'all, is pretty quick. It shows tremendous discipline and work ethic, and probably going to do it with a 3.5 GPA, and that's just outstanding. I couldn't be more proud of her, and I'm not going to miss it. I'll be here for it tomorrow night. So really excited about that's a piece, and when you start talking about your program and kids, that's a piece that really doesn't get spoken about a lot. And Bree, Katera, Dominique, Chinway, all those kids are going to graduate within 4 years, and all of them are going to have 3.0 GPAs or better, which is really amazing. And those kids are the ones that believed in us when maybe it wasn't real easy to believe. There certainly wasn't a number 5 in front of us at that time.
Bree, 3.5 years gone by real fast for you. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it has. I think it just comes with being with Coach Schaefer. He always pushes education at the same time with basketball. So when we got here, I always said we were all going to graduate early. So that was the goal coming in.
Vic, you're going to have nights or days like you did at Iowa State. A lot of times those games get away from you. What does it say about your team to find a way with Dominique out and down 17 at the half to find a way to win that ball game in a tough environment too?
Well, I mean, I think it speaks to the character of those kids that were in the ball game. And I tell you, I thought Morgan was the difference the second half. I just thought her presence on the floor, I thought her teammates saw it, and they just kind of believed in her and got on her back and let her kind of lead them. I thought our seniors, Katera and Bree, were really good. Katera had a couple of really big plays down the stretch that involved, one was a steal that she got and lay in and then on a Euro step, and then the other was a steal that she tipped to Morgan. Morgan came down and made the 3 that cut it to 2. So she was involved in a couple of really big defensive plays. But I thought our seniors were awfully good, and they both, Bree and Katera both, Chinway, all were on the floor during that comeback. But I just thought Morgan, the first half, Buckley got the best of her, 17 points, 4 assists, no turnovers. Second half, she got 2 points on Morgan. Morgan really just wore that kid out, and Morgan just gets stronger. I mean, the longer the game goes, the harder it goes, just the stronger she seems to get, especially in the press. And so I really thought that her presence was a big key in our victory.
Bree, can you talk about your time here? Because you've had some ups and downs, but to graduate in 3.5 years shows a remarkable consistency and focus. You were kind of bashful when you said 3.5. That's pretty awesome. You should be. I got a 3.5. You should be like that. But can you just talk a little bit about your time?
I don't know. What do you want, like education? You want like basketball?
Yeah, kind one affect the other, to not get too high at times, not to get too low at times?
Oh,
You have remarkable consistency.
I don't know. I guess I've kind of always been an education thing. I started from like back home. My mom's always told me education first. So me coming in, it's just really just understanding how to balance everything. And I can't ever let my grades slip. So dealing with Coach Schaefer, he stays on us, like I said, making sure grades are good. So really, for the most part, for me, education kind of easy. It's just basketball part for the most part. So it was just figuring everything out.
I hope I'm reading into something that you look, Coach Schaefer's, hard on education.
Mm-hmm.
You said you can't let it slip. Has he had to ever remind you during your time, or does he say things to the players on the team to hey, that needs to be a focus for you guys?
All the time. He hasn't really. I don't think he's had any moments with me, but there's a couple people on the team, but he's just strict. Just make sure we stay on top of our grades. We can't have as long as we have a 3.0. I think every semester he's happy. So,
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
Bree comes from a tremendous background, both her mother and her father. She went to a magnet school in high school. So her background really in the formative years with her family, I think really has transferred here. And, that discipline and understanding of, hey, grades are important. I've never had to get on her about, I don't even know, if you ever made a C?
One.
Yeah.
Just one.
I mean, that's an unbelievable stat, y'all. And, from a basketball standpoint, look, she's already won 77, 85 games in her career. She's going to win, hopefully I'm going to get her to over 100. What an unbelievable career. She's going to average over 20 minutes a game for us. She will have started off and on over 4 years that entire time. She's had a pretty good career. Now, she'd probably be honest, she'd say, yep, and he always wants more. And I do, because I think she's got it. And that's the piece that we both compete every day trying to get that. Some days are better than others. If you want to call that up and down, okay, but to me it's been a whole lot more up than down. Inconsistent, maybe, but at the end of the day, she's been consistently in our lineup every night. I've never had to worry about her missing a game for injury or sickness. And when the lights have come on, she's always answered the bell. Again, all I want is more, but at the end of the day, I'll reflect when probably her senior year's over and go, you know what, pretty darn good player. And there's no doubt she has been. And it'll be hard pressed to find another one like that because she's been that good. Again, I want more, but she's been that good. So I'm really proud of her. 3.5 years, y'all. That's 3.5. Wow.
Morgan, I was here when you got here. Just kind of speak to what she's meant to you as far as leadership during your time here.
Yeah, so like when I first got here, pretty much took me under a wing. We was always together all the time. Come shoot, pretty much did everything together, go out to eat, all that stuff. So it's been fun. It's gonna be sad to see her leave, but we're gonna get her 100 wins here, college. Let's see her graduate. Well, I'll see pictures. I won't be here.
Can you talk about Bree this season? I mentioned that word consistency. She's been consistent, and it looks like statistically she's trying to do some of the things that you've been asking of her in past years. Are you seeing her do more of that this season?
Sure. I mean, kid always plays hard. I think she's trying to be a better help defender. She took a charge out in Hawaii that was a huge play in the game. She also went up and got a huge block in the game and came down on the backside of her head and still fought through that and played the next 2 ball games. It was against Oregon, wasn't it? It was a huge play. Huge point in the game. They had made a run, and I think the charge was even bigger, but the block shot and falling on the backside of her head, but then finishing the game, playing the next 2. I mean, the kid's always been tough. And that's been sometimes as a coach, you just take those things for granted. But then when it's all over and said and done, you look back and go, dadgum, I'd like to have another one just like her, And so it's, I think for her, again, she was on the all-freshman team. her career has been outstanding. How many wins we've been a part of, and to know that her and Katera both play that position, that the point and the 4 player touch the ball more than anybody I got on the team. And so to play those positions is really difficult in our system. You got to be a great defender, you got to be a good ball handler, you got to be a good offensive player. And so I couldn't be more proud of her. And you know, I appreciate her mother and father's trust and confidence 3.5 years ago. Hopefully we've lived up to their expectations, and she certainly lived up to mine.
I know there was a lot of questions about why the schedule was made out like it was, but you come in the top 10 RPI, I think the first RPI that's come out.
Right.
Do you feel like that's kind of worked out? I know there's a long season ahead, but before you even get to the play, you're already in the top 10.
Well, I do that piece, but now we still got 4 non-conference games away from here to finish this off. Southern Miss they'll be ready and waiting in the weeds for us, and we're going to be ready, have to be ready to play. And we can't we've had a couple of really, I think they would tell you, not real good practices. So we got to get back in the gym today and have a couple of good days, good focus days, and get ready for a really good team, well coached. You know, they'll be excited about playing Big Sister. And so we've got to be ready for that. And then we got to go to UALR, traditionally an NCAA tournament team, on Tuesday. I like being gone this time of year. It worked out good. This portion of the schedule to me worked out good because school's out anyway. We might as well, there's no point in being, you know, there's nothing to do other than practice and sleep. We might as well go get on the road. So going and playing at ULR and then going out to California really works out good, in my opinion. Now, we're playing some really good teams. And again, when you got that number 5 on your back and on your chest, people are they're gonna give you your best shot. I think what I've been excited about so far is I've seen our kids take it. I think if you ask these two, they'd probably say we haven't really played our best basketball yet. I mean, we played pretty good against Texas. I think Texas is really good, y'all. But other than that, I think we've had some spells where we've played good. We really played pretty well against Oregon because I think, again, they're really good offensively. But other than that, I think our best basketball hopefully is in front of us. So.
Do you have an update on Dominique's?
No update other than, I mean, we're still where we were. She's not practicing, and you know, she's trying to recover from that surgery. So I don't foresee her doing anything for a while.
How do you feel like the players kind of found their way without her the other day, especially in the second half?
Well, again, I thought Roe really stepped up and did some things, maybe, I won't say out of her comfort zone, but maybe what they weren't expecting. She put the ball on the deck and went to the hole and got 2 or 3 layups against them. And, you know, Roe's been standing out there and shooting the ball from the perimeter quite a bit and shooting it well. But she made 2 or 3 big buckets when we needed them, and she did it going to the rim. And I think that surprised the other team. I mean, one time they just watched her go right by them, and she laid it in. And so I thought you bring Blair in off the bench, she plays 25 minutes, played in the press. I think she gave up 2 points on a back door, but made 2 big threes. You know, plays with a broken nose. Had surgery last Tuesday, plays on Saturday. Pretty tough. So I thought we had some kids really step up, and like I said, Morgan wasn't feeling good. That's not an excuse, and she wouldn't use it either, but to bounce back in the second half after a horrible first half speaks pretty big about her. And you know, I got on her at halftime. The thing about Morgan is she owns it. She's very intelligent. If I'm telling her she's playing bad, she usually knows she's playing bad. And she owns it. She doesn't sit there and have an attitude. She doesn't hang her head. She doesn't frown. She doesn't get mad at me. She owns it. And that's the key, I think, with any competitive kid is once you realize that, hey, you know what, I ain't doing things right and I need to do them better, own that and then try to fix it. That's what great players do. And so I thought that was really, again, the big key for us in the second half was just our whole team knew it. I didn't raise my voice at halftime. We knew we played bad. They owned it. We came out in the second half. We got it cut to 11 at the end of the third quarter. We still had a 7-point deficit with 1:20 to go. but we were fighting and we were in it. And these kids, we do something every day called Bulldog. So a stop, score, stop, that's something we're used to. Playing fast, scoring fast, getting a stop. They understand that. And so when minute 20 down, you got the ball, all of a sudden you cut it to 5. Now they know stop, score, stop. Stop, score, the 3. Now we got it to 2. Get another stop, now you got a chance. And so they've been in that moment before in practice. And so I just thought they really embraced that during that ball game.
Bree and Morgan, can you talk about what Coach was saying? You guys maybe might not feel that you have played the best that you guys can play as a team. How do you feel that you guys have played the first 8 games?
I don't think we played a game from start to finish solid and consistent. I feel like maybe we'll play one quarter good, next one. I know in the beginning we weren't starting off the third quarter as well, so I feel like we start from first half to fourth quarter. I feel like that'll be a good game for us. But right now we're just kind of inconsistent. So one of these games we'll get consistent.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just feel like we haven't had a complete game overall. And I feel like whatever day we decide to, play from start to finish, we'll probably see, like Coach said, our best days of basketball. So we just got to become consistent, play from tip to all the way to finish.
And if I was going to ask you guys, still you're shooting better than 47% from the field, you're out rebounding teams by more than 10 per game, you've got a positive assist to turnover rate, and you're scoring nearly 82 points a game. That would seem to suggest maybe you guys are playing pretty good. Are those numbers not reflecting how good you're playing, or did those numbers reflect that there's maybe an even higher ceiling for you guys?
I'll say even higher ceiling because, like Coach says, like we'll kind of think we might have played good, but then he always says the film doesn't lie. So, like he always said, winning kind of covers up our mistakes and what we're doing bad. So, I think just like we're doing good, kind of, but it's just the cover up at the same time because we're a good defensive team. So we're going to lock people down. It's just offensively, it might not be, we might be winning, but it's still not a complete game like we're supposed to be playing. So, I don't know.
It's hard, Adam, when you're playing 10 kids double-figure minutes to have continuity through substitution. Some lineups are better defensively than others. Some lineups are better offensively than others. I think that's what you're seeing right now. With us playing 10 kids double-figure minutes and then Iggy's playing almost 8, I think it's hard. The chemistry piece defensively is what suffers for us. Remember, offense sells tickets, defense wins games, rebounding wins championships. And right now, I think the offensive piece, we're as good offensively as we've ever been. But if we're going to win a championship, we got to get the rebounding piece down better. We got to be better defensively. And that's the piece. I mean, we've given up in victory. We gave up 81. We've given up 68, and we've given up 62. I don't typically like giving up more than 60. But I can't tell you the last time I gave up 81 points and won a game. So, I think the offensive piece, we've got some really skilled players. It's that defense and rebounding right now that I'm really struggling. And Bree's rebounding. She's doing all she can do. My bigs are typically doing all they can do. I'm trying to get my 2s and 3s to rebound right now. That's the piece that I'm really struggling with, that I can't seem to get through to Tori and Rowe and Blair and Iggy. Hey, we got to get in there and you got to help them rebound. Because these kids are fighting their tail off in there. Katera and Bree and Tierra and Chinway, they're in there doing all they can do, but I need other people involved, especially on the offensive end. We need to get some second chance points from somebody other than T and Chinway, Bree and Katera.
Are you surprised where you are right now, given that? Because the reason I ask, I apologize for seeming distracted, but I was looking up the other top statistics for the other teams in the top 5. In those categories that I mentioned, you guys are right there with all of them in terms of field goal percentage, shooting, rebounding, assists to turnovers, and scoring. So well, not, does that surprise you, but does it surprise you you are where you're at right now doing all of those things?
I'd say I'm surprised we're not as good defensively as I'd like to be. With a veteran team, I thought we'd be better. And there's games where we're really good, and there's games when we're really struggling. But I think when you play good people like we have, you got really good coaches, and they're figuring out ways to attack us. Iowa State never let the ball get out of the point guard's hand. She handled it the entire game until she was ready to pass it to somebody for a shot. You know, and it was Morgan had to guard her for 25 seconds a lot of time. Dribble, 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 off the screen, back off of it again. And then when you finally screwed up on a hedge, boom, you hit a wing because somebody had to come over and help, and now they got an open three. I mean, that was pretty much all night long. And so, again, I think that's part of it. Am I surprised we're 8-0? No. I felt like we could be that way. I'm surprised. I tell you what I am surprised at is for having a veteran team, 4 juniors, 4 seniors. I just want us to own that and own the accountability piece and want to be number 5 and act it and live it every day and be accountable every day for trying to uphold the responsibility that comes with that. That's the piece that I'm really imploring on these young ladies, these guys to do, is just really be that team. Y'all know this in life. Success is fleeting. Man, you start taking things for granted, next thing you know, you'll be on the bottom looking up. And so embrace this time. 4 years ago, this was a vision. I knew what it looked like, but I'm not sure anybody really felt like this is where we'd be. I don't know if she really believed this is where we'd be. I think she believed we'd be good, but I don't know that anybody envisioned number 5 in the country. Well, we've gotten there, but is that enough? I mean, are we going to look back in our senior year when it's over and say, no, well, we got to number 5. Well, what about, did we get there and stay there? That's the piece I want them to live. That's the piece that I'm struggling with right now. I just want them to embrace it and live it and appreciate the fact that this just doesn't happen. We're there, but now can we stay there? I've told y'all before, building the program ain't the hard part. It's sustaining it. That's the hard part. And now we're trying to sustain it. And this is where we are.
Bree, did you believe that you guys would be here at number 5 4 years ago? Or more than 4 years ago?
Like you said, I probably didn't envision number 5. Like I said, I knew eventually we'd be good, but never top 5. I honestly, not top 5.
You said eventually. Did you think it would come after you were gone?
No, I just meant like I knew like us being good was coming. It's just we didn't have all the pieces at the time, but I didn't know top 5 good. I didn't see that.
And again, I thought it would happen. I'm not sure that anybody thought it would happen this fast,
Yeah.
but I knew that when we got that first class, we were on our way. Now, the key is you got to stack classes. You can't go have this class and then miss the next one and then go have another good. No, you got to stack classes. And you look at those classes that we've been fortunate enough to stack, that's why we are where we are today. Now, I want leadership. I want people to own it, and I want people to live it. That's my struggle with this group right now. I really want it badly for them. They're good kids. They work hard. I mean, they deserve it, but it ain't going to happen unless we work for it.